Hi, I'm Tim Bartz, Internet Sales Manager here at McArthur Ford, Salina, Kansas, your source for Ford news, update, and information, including your scheduling information on a Tuesday. And we're going to go over the scheduling for information for Thursday, December 18th, 2025. So this is for people that have an order placed with their local dealer. They're trying to get trying to get a VIN number for the production date. And this is the kind of information on whether or not you have that chance of getting it scheduled this week based on some of the plant information on what they're doing. So if you like videos like this or some of our other videos, including our product knowledge videos and our live streams, make sure you subscribe with that bell notification turned on so you don't miss any of our videos. But we're going to start this video out by going over the terminologies. First time watching this video, please watch the terminologies. It'll probably answer a lot of your initial questions that you might have on some of the different things that I'll throw out here as kind of a slang or some of the wording that Ford uses or the plants use. We'll go over that terminology right now. So let's pull that up. So for those of you looking to place that order, you've placed that order in what Ford calls the order bank. That's where all the dealer will place all their stock as well as the retail orders. Now, retail order, that is a customer placed order. So if you came into the dealer to place that order, that they're going to put that in as a retail order type. And then a stock order type is that orders placed by the dealer. That's going to be for their stock or their lot inventory, right? That's going to go on their lot. Priority code, that's a priority that's given to each orders, to the orders by the dealer. Now, a retail order type can only be given an 03 through a 19. 19 is the default, but the lower the better. So if you want to have a higher priority for your order over other orders, then they can lower that down to even as low as an 03. Now, 20 to 80 is stock priority codes. And again, 80 is a default. And if a dealer wants a certain stock order that they put in first, one that the region put in for them, then they can move that from an 80 down to 20. So it can be looked at before an 80 is looked at. Scheduling, that is for when Ford schedules an order for production dates in the future month. That's kind of what we're talking about in this video. So you first get scheduled. You'll get a VIN number, get scheduled first of the week, and then as it gets closer, it'll get scheduled to the day. Allocations. We bring that up because Ford gives dealers allocations to schedule their orders. Dealer needs an allocation to schedule an order in the order bank, even if it's an retail order. That retail order can't get scheduled if a dealer doesn't have an allocation that month. A dealer earns those allocations based on their sales volume of each model within their region. So every dealer is going to have a different number for every model based on how well they sold that model previously in the last year, and that kind of thing. So, all right, constraints, that's an option that may be in short supply or take longer to build. And sometimes there'll be a constraint happens when the capacity, which is the next term, that's the planned production rate of a given motor trim or option. When that capacity isn't as high as the orders, then that's where we get that constraint, or that it's going to be harder to schedule. Now, job 1 and 2 production is split into different job runs because if they want to introduce something, they don't need to wait at the beginning of the model year. If that's not ready yet, they can go ahead and make that a job 2 change, and then they can start production. And then some of those new options or those new features or colors can be reintroduced into what they call job 2 later in the model year. Balance out, that's the end of production or the balance out of a particular model option or something like that. So there you go. So that is the terminology there. And now we're going to go over scheduling for this week and kind of learning that. Again, allocation is king here. And at this point, they've already scheduled several months because November's allocations were for both for November and December scheduling for those January and February production dates. So at this point, they're scheduled mainly for February. And so a lot of the allocations by dealers have been used. So let's go through this and cover what models, because not all of the plants are scheduled this week. All right. First up, the 26 model year Mustang. Order banks are open up, so you can place an order for a Mustang. They are not scheduled this week. There is a note in here, though. A GT Performance package will be available for unscheduled orders with the WebDo restriction lifted by the end of the week to allow dealers to amend existing U.S. order bank orders, and it will also be accessible for the upcoming wholesale, so the next wholesale. All right. Next up, 26 model year Bronco Sport. Order banks are open up for the Bronco Sport for 26 model year. They are not scheduling this week. 26 model year Bronco. Order banks are open up for the Bronco as well for 26 model year. They are scheduled this week for production weeks, the week of 2/2 to the week of 2/23. So that's basically your February production dates. Does say in here required orders. They are needing some Badlands orders without the Sasquatch package. So they don't have a lot of retail orders. For that reason, they need dealers to place those orders. There you go. No other notes there for that. Next up, 26 model year Mustang Mach-E. Order banks are open up for that. They are not scheduled this week, and there's no notes. All right, next up, 26 model year Explorer. Order banks are open up. They are not scheduling as well this week at Chicago, and no notes to go along with that. Next up, 26 model year Expedition. The order banks are open up for the Expedition. You can place an order, and they are not scheduling at the Kentucky truck plant for the Expedition. Next up, 26 model year Maverick. Order banks are open up. And just like with the others, no scheduling at the Hermosillo plant for this week. Next up is the 26 model year Ranger. Order banks are open up for the Ranger, and they are scheduled this week, just like Bronco, for the weeks of February 2nd to the weeks of February 23rd. And it does say in here exhaust availability for the 2.7 liter EcoBoost engine with the auto start stop. So there you go. And then also says exhaust availability for the black appearance package as well. So only notes there for Ranger. Next up is the 26 model year Super Duty. Order banks are open up for the Super Duty, and they are scheduled this week. Kentucky is scheduled for the weeks of January 19th to the weeks of February 2nd. And Ohio is scheduled for the weeks of January 26th to the weeks of February 2nd. The saying here, don't forget best configuration is F250 or F350, XL, XLT, or Lariat trims for regular or super cab without the bucket seats. Looking for bench seat orders there. Limit availability for the F450 as well as the F550 series. And then it does say also limit availability for the Lariat Premium Package, the Lariat Ultimate Package, the Pickup Box Delete, Max Recline Seats, the XLT version with the bucket seats, the fifth wheel gooseneck hitch prep package, and also the King Ranch version. And lastly, the 18-inch ebony black machine and painted aluminum wheel. That's the one you're going to find on that trimmer off-road package. So there you go, which would probably limit the trimmer off-road package for that reason. So those are our restrictions there for Super Duty. All right, this week, or next up, I should say, 26 model year F-150. The order banks are open up for the F-150. They are scheduled this week for both plants for the weeks of February 9th to the weeks of February 23rd. Just a important note in here, non-Raptor, base Raptor, and Raptor R orders were created this past weekend. So there are dealers that have allocations, but they don't have any retail orders. So they went ahead and put some orders in there for those dealers. Again, same note as last week on the paint colors. So paint colors Argon Blue, Avalanche, Ruby Red are no longer compatible with the STX 200B, 201A, Lariat 500A, XLT 300A, as well as 301 and 302. Now, 301 and 302, if you have the chrome package and black appearance package, you can get those colors. But if you don't, then you can't get those colors. The Pro Access tailgate is mandatory on the following equipment groups: King Ranch 600 and 601A, Platinum Plus 703A, as well as it says Platinum Base with a satin package on the 700, 701, and 702A. Does say paint color antimatter blue is no longer available, or that's exclusive, now only available at Dearborn. So that is not available at Kansas City. And then it does say in here, not scheduled for the 3.5 gas engine orders with the 50 state emissions in Kansas City until the week of 2/9. Limit availability for the 5.0 liter gas engine, the 3.5 hybrid engine, the 2.7 liter V6 engine, and then also 20-inch gloss black painted aluminum wheel that's included in XLT Black Appearance Package Plus and the Lariat Black Appearance Package. So that's a bigger black wheel. Also, four-wheel drive is also limited availability. So they're looking for just certain configurations at this point to fulfill their February scheduling or production, it looks like there. All right. Last time I'm probably going to talk about this 26 model year F-150 Lightning is no longer going to be built. So they are shutting off production for the current F-150 Lightning, which means they don't plan to build any 26 model year. So 25 model year has already been built. So at this point, they have finished with the current F-150 Lightning, the first gen Lightning. So later on the live stream, or tonight on the live stream, we're going to talk about this topic. So if you want to learn a little bit more about that, come over. But we will, future videos on scheduling, we will not talk about Lightning anymore because it's done. So next up, 26 model year Transit. Order banks are open up. They are scheduled this week for the weeks of January 12th to the weeks of February 9th. Best configuration, high roof extended van, the high roof long van, the low roof van, the medium roof van. Also the 3.5 PFDI V6 engine. That's a non-EcoBoost. Engine code 998 also is a good configuration versus the other engine. So there you go. That is our scheduling information for this week. Again, a lot of plants that aren't scheduling. And a little note here, we will not have this video next week or the week after. So because the plant schedules on Thursdays, this next Thursday is Christmas Day. The Thursday after that is New Year's Day, and the plant will be closed both those days. So they will not be scheduled in the next 2 weeks. So we will not have a scheduling video for you for the next couple of weeks, if you're wondering that. So hopefully this does help you out, and you grab that news there. But hopefully, good luck to you guys getting scheduled this week. Again, dealer needs allocations at this point. A lot of the dealers have already used their allocations. So really is at this point, it's going to be very limited in getting scheduled. And you might be looking for March production dates at this point. Like I said, the next 2 weeks, they won't schedule. The week after that, they might have one last week of February scheduling, and then they're going to be on to March after that. So anyway, that's what we have for this week. Good luck to everybody out there. Make sure you're subscribed with the bell notification turned on so you don't miss any of our videos. And if you want to talk Lightning tonight and see what's the future of what's going on, what's going on with these plants they built, we're going to talk about that on tonight's live stream as a topic about the next gen F-150 Lightning, the current F-150 Lightning, what's going on, as well as what's the plan for other electrification. And a lot of news that just happened yesterday. We'll talk about it tonight. So make sure you check that out. Until then, stay positive, be kind to one another, be kind to yourself. We'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.